Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief. I look so forward to joining you guys from all over the world. Hello to Eunice and Manny in New Zealand, and hello to Mandy in Washington, and hello to all of you wonderful people who message me and talk to me every single day from South Africa to Sweden to Norway to New Zealand and everywhere in between. We have the best community. And in case you're here for the first time, this is the Israel Brief. I'm Rolene Marks. We are brought to you every Monday to Thursday in partnership with these guys, Lay of the Land, and more about them in a short while. Today is day 328. The days are just marching on, guys, since the atrocities of the 7th of October and Israel's war against Hamas. And to date, 107 hostages have been held captive in the Gaza Strip by the Hamas terror group for now 328 days. So let's take a look at those top stories. Yesterday, I brought you the headline that the families of hostages had driven in a convoy down to the border, down to where Kibbutz Be'eri, one of the worst affected kibbutzim on the 7th of October, is situated. Early this morning, they moved as close as they could to the fence, and some of the families started to shout out to their loved ones in the hope that they could hear them. They express their longing, their love, their struggle to end what they feel is abandonment of their loved ones. So I'm going to read to you, courtesy of the Hostages and Missing Families Forum. I'm going to read to you from the press release they sent out earlier today. Rachel Goldberg-Polin, she is the mother of Hirsch Goldberg-Polin, who lost his arm when he was taken captive on the 7th of October. You guys might be familiar with him. His parents have been doing a lot of media work raising the awareness of the plight of Hirsch and the other hostages. Hirsch is also an American citizen. Rachel, who is just simply extraordinary, shouted out, "It's Mama Hirsch. It's day 328. We are all here, all the families of the remaining 107 hostages. Hirsch, we are working day and night, and we will never stop. I need you to know that I am giving you now the blessing I give you every single morning when I pray for you. And every Friday I go out to the porch towards Gaza and I give you the Kohanic blessing. May God bless you and keep you. May God shine his face upon you and be gracious to you." I don't think any of us could hear these words from a mother so full of love, so full of dignity, and so full of longing for her son, and not be moved to tears. I'll read you from Vada Ben Baruch, the grandmother of Edan Alexander. She says to him, "Edan Alexander, your grandparents are here, our dear soul. We're calling out to you. Can you hear us, Edanale? Your parents are waiting for you in America. You came here to join the army. We're worried about you, love you, and are waiting for your swift return. Edanale, stay strong. You're a strong boy. Take care of yourself. Survive. We love you and are doing everything for you. All I want to cry out to God, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one." That's the Shema Yisrael prayer for anyone who may not know. "Please, Lord, save us now. Please, Lord, grant us success now. May the angel who redeems me from all evil bless the boys and girls, and may my name be declared upon them, and the names of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac. Edanale, be strong. We're strong for you. We love you very much, and we're waiting for you." Now, some of the families ran towards the border fence and actually breached the fence between Israel and the border with Gaza. And the security authorities pleaded with them to return, saying that they are risking their lives doing that. And their response was, "What about their lives. It's absolutely harrowing, but I know you guys out there, our Israel Brief community, pray every single day for the safe return of all our now 107 hostages. The United Nations Security General Antonio Guterres criticized Israel's counter-terror operations in the West Bank, calling for them to end immediately. Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, addressed the plenary, saying that the Iranians who sponsor Hamas and other terror proxies had sent arms into Judea and Samaria, he says, which you know as the West Bank, and we will not sit idly by as cafes and buses blow up. The whole point of the IDF being in there is to prevent terror by proxy from the Iranians. And what is absolutely chilling is that Khaled Mashal, the former head of Hamas, has called for the resumption of suicide bombings. If you recall, during the second Intifada in the early 2000s, there were almost daily bombings on buses and in cafes, sending terror throughout the state of Israel and costing the lives of hundreds of Israelis. The body of a soldier who was killed and his body abducted and held captive by Hamas in the Gaza Strip was recovered by the IDF during a military operation. Now, the parents have appealed for his name not to be made public. And I just want to address something, because I know so many of you out there are following various WhatsApp groups and social media, and we have a very, very real problem with armchair journalists trying to be the first to break the news, putting stuff out there when it hasn't been cleared for publication or goes against the wishes of the families. When the IDF release statements about soldiers and hostages, they always say cleared for publication, which is an indication that it has, the families have been notified, that it has gone through all whatever stringent steps needed to make the news public. I really, really appeal to you. Please do not consume and be very, very careful of news that hasn't been cleared for publication by the IDF. This potentially harms our soldiers, harms our hostages, and harms any victims of terror. So unless it comes from reputable sources, please be very, very conscious and very, very careful. And we also have brought you the story this week of how the IDF rescued the Bedouin hostage, Qadi Farhan al-Qadi. Well, he has started to speak a bit about his time in captivity. I shared some of that with you on yesterday's brief, but the mayor of Rahat has shared with the media that the hostage who was with Farhan, who died in captivity, is Al-Qadi Zalmanovich, who Al-Qadi referred to as his Jewish friend, and whose body was recovered a while ago during a military operation. That was the other hostage who died in captivity. And finally, let's end the week on a positive note. The Paralympics have started in Paris. And I don't know about you guys, but I am even more emotional and more moved about the Paralympics. And quite a significant amount of Israel's Paralympic delegation are veterans who have been wounded or suffer from PTSD. And of course, we are standing behind them all the way. We know that they are going to represent us magnificently in sports like swimming and taekwondo and tennis, despite the threat to their safety that their counterparts who participated in the Olympics last month also had to endure. Well, we know our Paralympians are going to be magnificent. The flag will be born by a Paralympian from Kibbutz near Yitzchak, who survived the 7th of October and is turning his pain into something filled with purpose. And we are so proud. So for Team Israel competing in the Paralympics, we are standing behind you so incredibly proudly. And for our first competitor in the Taekwondo who beat his Thai opponent, you make us so very, very proud. And now it's time for the audience question of the day, and it comes from Berenice MacArthur. Berenice is in Israel, and she asks, are there any other hostages being held captive in Gaza that were not part of the 7th of October? And it's a very important question, and the answer to that, Berenice, is yes. We have 4 captives who have been held since 2014. That's 10 years already. The first is the remains of 2 soldiers who fell during Operation Protective Edge. That is Oron Shaul and Hadar Golden. Their families have been campaigning now for a decade to have their remains returned so that they could be given a proper, dignified burial. And the other are 2 Israeli civilians. Hisham al-Sayed, also a Bedouin. We had proof of life last year. Unfortunately, he was seen to not be in the greatest health. We haven't heard anything since then. And Ethiopian Israeli Avera Mengistu. Hamas does not discriminate whether you are Muslim or Jewish, soldier, civilian, right, left, Ethiopian, French, South African. If you are Israeli, they will kidnap you, and we know the rest of the story. So to answer your question, Berenice, yes, there are still 4 being held captive, and we count them amongst the 107 hostages we want returned with immediate effect. So guys, that's it for the week. So I'll see you on Monday. And just remember, if you want to read all about our work, you can do so on www.layoftheland.online. We are on YouTube right here at the Israel Brief. If you love us, because I love you guys, please hit that red subscribe button. We are on Facebook at Lottel's Site, on Instagram at Rolene Marks, on X at Lay of the Land 5. I'm sure I haven't left any of them out, but in case I have, you guys will let me know. So guys, that's it from me for all of you. Have a wonderful weekend. May it be peaceful for all of us, restful, and take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I will see you on Monday. God bless. Bye for now.